Coach Drake's character, man. We're gonna see his training record in his life. So let's go check him out. Let's go. Coach Drake.
Oh, what up, my man? Just finishing up a little set here.
What's going on, man?
How you doing, brother? How you doing? How you doing?
Good to see you, man.
Man, good to see you too.
Yeah,
How you been?
I love it, man. I love it. I'm doing well, man. So I've seen a lot of work you're doing, brother. So I'm here to see if we can get you right today.
Bro, today's the day. Ain't no better day than today, man.
Awesome. So let me ask you a couple quick questions right before we jump into this. So, how long have you been doing fitness?
4 years. 4 years, man. Been working out for 20, but as far as training,
Yeah.
4 good years for sure.
Okay.
Yep.
And when did you start seeing this as a passion more so than just recreation?
I've always had a passion for lifting weights, but as far as helping people, I went to school for education.
Oh, okay.
So
Awesome.
now I'm able to help teach people fitness, doing something I love doing, man. It's been great. Changing lives and helping people get in better shape.
Awesome. So let me ask you, what are the top 3 most efficient ways someone that's out of shape can start working or at least take those initial steps to get back into shape?
So top 3, keep it simple, right? So if you can't get to the gym, we could do push-ups, we could do squats. Keep it simple, keep it consistent, and obviously be aware of what muscle groups you're working. Because a lot of people will work out but not train, right?
Right.
So you'll
What's the
do.
difference?
There's a huge difference. So training is actually focusing on a particular muscle group.
Okay.
So one day you'll have arms, one day you'll have chest, one day you'll have back, one day you have legs.
Right.
So everything kind of flows together.
Okay.
And that's where the training comes in. So
Right.
they'll tell you what to do for your arms, what to do for your chest, what to do for your back, opposed to go into the gym and say, hey, maybe I'll do little arms today, or the tricep machine's open, or the treadmill's open, and you're kind of just moving
Right,
around.
it's not programmed.
There's no plan. You
Right.
won't move anywhere. So
Right.
what I do is kind of figure out what your schedule is, and then kind of.
All right, welcome back, guys, to the Knucklehead Podcast. I'm your host, co-host Quan. I got my brother Mom in the back on the cameraman because we switching it up a little bit this week. But we got a good friend of ours of the podcast, and we just been fellowshipping and been in a lot of good talks. So we wanted to bring him on to the show. We do these interviews with the 1% people that may be, self-business operating. They may have their own business. They may just have transitioned from a 9 to 5 to the 1%. And we're lucky because the person we're speaking to today has done both, right? They operate in their own business, and they've also worked in the 9 to 5 in the corporate setting and transitioned into being business owners. So without further ado, I have my good brother here, Drickson Toussaint here, and I'm going to let him introduce himself.
Man, that was quite an intro, bro.
Yeah, we getting better.
Intro. But yes, my name is Drickson Toussaint, known as Coach Drix. Moved to Florida about 4 years ago. Became an entrepreneur about 3.5. So I actually came down to Florida because I was in sales. I was a district manager for Verizon for about 15 plus years. Really good success there. Moved back to Florida because I was able to get a opportunity to run a bigger market.
Right.
And during the pandemic in 2020, unfortunately, I was let go, which happened to be a blessing.
Right.
And then that's where I started Tucson Training. So we're going to be celebrating 4 years in December.
Wow.
Which is
4 year business.
4 years.
Man, you got to celebrate that.
I know. They say most people don't make it past the first 90 days.
Yeah.
But it's been a journey, and God's been awesome. So I'm excited about to see what he does next.
Awesome. So starting off this interview with the first question, right? Just off our couple of engagements and our couple of conversations, you really have a passion and a purpose for fitness. So what was it about the fitness lifestyle that was so appealing to you that you was like, you know what, this is something that I was meant to do?
I've always wanted to teach, so I always wanted to be a teacher.
Okay.
And I've always loved sports.
Okay.
So I've always found a passion in the gym, helping people get in shape, stuff like that. So it was always a side hustle for a lot of years. So for fun, hobby, I would say, hey, you guys want to come by? Even though I didn't have an official gym or official training stuff, I just love being in the gym with friends.
Right.
So when the opportunity presented itself, I'm like, man, I'm going to give it like 6 solid months.
Yeah.
See if I can keep this thing going. But literally every day feels like a dream. It doesn't feel like I'm necessarily working.
Right.
But I'm actually helping people. And a big part of it, people need the accountability. So I like to think of myself as an accountability coach instead of a fitness coach, because you got to go to the gym, you got to eat right, but what I'm going to do is help hold you accountable to doing that.
All right, awesome. So you had an interesting journey to get to this point, right? Like you mentioned, you've been in Tampa for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, 4 years.
4 years. So you've been in Tampa. When you came here, talk to us about that, right? When you first got here, because you were working, you were 9 to 5.
Oh,
so a lot of our audience, right? Again, I don't know if I mentioned this, but the concept behind the podcast is really understanding that disconnect, right? Bridging the gap between the 99% and the 1%.
Correct.
You and myself actually have been fortunate enough to be on both sides of the spectrum.
Yes,
So
yes.
what was that moment like for you working at 9-5, like you said, being flown out here and saying, hey, we want you to run our Tampa market.
Correct.
And then kind of being furloughed, being pushed into your purpose.
Man, it was crazy because moving out to Tampa allowed me to hit my first 6-figure job.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm like, and they gave me a company car.
Right. So you have
And
$100,000
they gave me-
in the bank, and you got a company car.
Company car, not paying for gas, life is good, living
Yeah.
the dream. Everything's flowing. I made it in
Yeah.
my mind. I got my 6-figure job. I'm good. And it was crazy because overnight it was gone.
Yeah.
So I mean, somebody had the power to literally make a call, you know, during the pandemic and says we're gonna disconnect your position. And I had to turn in my car, turn in my stuff within 24 hours. And keep in mind, I'm in sales, and this happened the day before Black Friday.
Wow.
So I'm going to Black Friday. I'm going to Thanksgiving, but you know,
Right after that, you got this big thing message in the back of your mind, this echo of like, man, what am I gonna do now?
Exactly. I prayed. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? I prayed about it, and God said, you're worried about a couple 100,000. I'm trying to get you to a couple 100 million. You know what I
Right.
mean? So thinking bigger was the biggest thing, and you know, it was a leap of faith.
Yeah.
But you know, it just shows you if you believe, if you put in the hard work, if you are consistent. I mean, the sky's the limit.
That's awesome,
Yeah.
dude. And I think that's so pivotal about your story because a lot of people have, you know, especially when you come from minority backgrounds or from backgrounds where, you know, you don't have a lot of financial resources, right? Let's just say that. You have this idea that if I get to 100,000,
Yeah.
job-wise, salary-wise,
You're good.
I made it. I'm stamped. I got everyone's stamp of approval. It should be easy street. And a lot of times, you know, because I've worked at jobs, you know, my uncle could tell you, I've worked at so many jobs where you make 100,000, you make, you know, 150,000, but you realize like that's not as much money considering taxes and all the other expenses. As your money goes up, as your salary increases, so does your expenses.
Correct.
Right. So
correct.
when you, to your point, when someone has the power to make that call to say, hey, we're going to furlough this position or we're looking to downsize this quarter, you really don't have a dog in that fight.
No.
Right. So yeah, I definitely think a lot of people need to understand that $100,000 is not enough.
It isn't enough.
Okay, and that's not considering the inflation we're dealing with now. So let's be clear. 100,000 is not enough. So you're making 100K. That's awesome. You're probably right above poverty, honestly, but that's not enough. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's not. If you factor in inflation, the value of the dollar going down, it doesn't make any sense.
And if you're trying to have a family.
Oh, don't get me there. That's a whole nother episode, dude. We'd be here all day. So, getting back to the fitness. So, what about fitness really brings you like the most joy? Is it like you said, you did mention saying going to the gym, working out with friends, but then, you know, 4 years later, fast forward, and you transition from just coming to the gym, working out with friends. You actually have a business. You're actually operating as a single entity and providing people with, you know, accountability and better lifestyle and fitness. So what about fitness do you enjoy the most?
I mean, I think the biggest part is watching the transformation, not only on the outside of the person, but the confidence changes, how they talk changes, how they feel changes, and it's about longevity. A lot of people say, "Oh, I'm gonna go to the gym and, you know, look this way, look that way," which is cool.
Yeah.
But there's a feeling that you get that nobody could give you.
Right.
There's an energy you wake up with that nobody could give you.
Right.
There's, you know, I'm actually about to turn 40 in July,
Right.
But I feel the best I've ever felt my entire life.
Wow.
Because I took fitness serious. So it's not just a look thing to me. When people click and understand that, hey, you know, fitness is the fountain of youth, and
Right.
it clicks and they understand, hey, I need to understand my relationship with food. I mean, it's a whole lifestyle change. Life becomes better, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You feel better, you move better. But I tell people all the time to trust the process, because it's not going to happen overnight. But if you literally say, hey, I'm going to do the steps necessary, that person that you were thinking that you wanted to become, that energy that you wanted, that time where you're saying, hey, I'm X age, I'm just old now, you don't got to live like that. You
Right.
don't have to feel like that. And when I get people to understand and change their life, I mean, that's the best feeling in the world.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. So someone that's in that 99 percentile, right, and they're struggling with either sticking to a program or finding a program that fits them. What are typically, being a fitness trainer, right, and being in the industry for over 4 years, what are some of the biggest hurdles that you've come across with dealing with your clients that kind of stops them from taking that next step into fitness?
So everybody has, obstacles. They have families, they have jobs, they don't have enough hours.
Yeah.
So I don't have you adapt to my fitness schedule. I adapt to your fitness schedule.
Right.
So I take time to kind of learn what a typical day looks like, and then we start with as low as 30 minutes from your house.
Wow.
So I mean, you're watching TV, you can wake up early. I do online sessions where I could train you from your house to start off.
Yeah.
And then we could do 1 time a week, move into 2, move into 3. It's really getting that routine.
Right.
Once you start getting that routine and you start feeling good, then you're gonna want to get to the gym. But I would say for sure when I'm first starting, I'm not trying to say, hey, you need to work out 5 days a week for an hour. No, you may not have that time.
Right.
But we need to start somewhere.
Right.
Do you only have 15 minutes twice a week? Let's
Right.
work there. And then we'll build from there, build the confidence. And then as we kind of grow, we tend to find more hours. So we kind of write down, what are you doing? Are you watching an hour of football, 2 hours of football?
Yeah.
3 hours, where you could spend 30, 40 minutes in the gym. So it's just reprioritizing their day to day and, making fitness one of the top 3 things in there and kind of going from there.
Yeah, so my next question, now that we kind of talked on the fitness side, how crucial is the relationship with your clients, or just you being a fitness professional, and our relationship with food? Because I think a lot of people aren't as educated or aren't aware of most of the illnesses that we face typically comes from food, right?
Yes.
Poor diet. So can you talk a little bit about the importance of having understanding a good diet, and what happens when you don't follow proper disciplines?
I mean, 80% of it is diet. So when I say understanding food, understanding how much fat something has, understanding how much sugar something has in it, understanding how much protein you're putting in your body.
Right.
So a lot of people that are trying to get in better shape think, oh, I'm going to starve myself or not eat, which is not the correct way.
Right.
You want to eat the right things, get your metabolism going for you to kind of lose that weight. But the biggest thing I would say is understanding that you're eating for nutrition and not necessarily pleasure. Now there are cheat days, but if you got to understand, hey, if I'm eating horrible and I'm working out 30 minutes a day, you're not getting anywhere. So we have to look at your nutrition now, make a commitment, because I said, give me at least 90 days and we can switch it up for you. Once we make that commitment, I actually have you send pictures of what you're eating. So we do breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then it tastes good. You just got to eat the right things and know what to eat and how to eat. So staying away from sugar, staying away from bread, staying away from alcohol if you can, and then obviously sticking with your waters, knowing what to eat and how to eat would be the biggest thing. But if you just focus on the nutrition aspect, you're more than 80% there, right? So that's why I kind of say, hey, I could train with you all day, but I'm going to hold you accountable. We're going to go down, we're going to hold this list, we're going to say, hey, is this something you could do? And then you're going to send me pictures of what you're eating, and it works. There's no way it's not rocket science. My sister always says, if you follow the steps and you don't cheat yourself, you're going to see success. And not only that, you're going to feel better. I've had plenty of clients reverse diabetes.
Wow.
That had diabetes before, went back to the office after taking away sugar, diabetes gone. I had people that a lot of the stuff that are happening is because they're overweight.
Right.
And instead of, exercising, they're taking weight loss medicine. They're popping pills here, popping there, where if you just worked out a little bit, it's going to help you in the long run anyways, and it's going to eliminate a lot of that stuff. So, yeah, food is going to be the biggest thing. One thing I tell people all the time is think before you eat. Right? If you're not thinking before you're eating, you're going to eat with your stomach, you're going to eat with your mind, and then you're going to look up the next day and be like, man, I can't believe I ate all that. But if I pause and say, if I eat this cheeseburger, I know I got to run 2 miles, you may only eat half.
Yeah, I'm like that too, because I just started working on myself. I'm like, do I want to eat all this work that I just sweat it out? Get into that. It's good now, but you're going to regret it later.
Always.
But speaking about that, right? So I'm kind of talking a little bit more about health, right? So now you've been here for 4 years. You kind of got established. You got a clientele. What are some of the things you're looking to do in the future with your fitness brand?
I mean, Tucson Training is not just fitness. It's also faith also.
Awesome.
So I do a Faith Talk Friday every Friday on my Instagram.
Okay.
And I wouldn't say it's like a church thing. It's more of a relationship with God thing.
Right.
So how can you grow your relationship with God? How can you understand how that relationship works? I use my life as an example on things I go through, and now he's helping me because I don't believe you have to necessarily just go to church to know who Jesus is, right?
100%.
So if we're sharing our testimonies as a trainer, I feel like he's using this platform where I could speak about it, which I did my first live Faith Talk Friday, our last boot camp. Phenomenal.
Wow.
Phenomenal. So I think being able to not only take care of I don't call them clients, my family, from the outside physically, but also if I'm able to tap in and show them how they could get their spirit and their relationship with God better, I mean, you can't beat it.
Wow.
You can't beat it.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's amazing. So you're kind of in this niche of kind of bringing in fitness and nutrition, but also being in alignment with the higher source, God, or the universe, and that entity,
Correct.
and really being in alignment with your mind, body, and spirit.
Correct.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So talk to us a little. I know you had a boot camp
Yes,
a couple of days ago. How was that?
Man, it was lit. Amazing. I mean, we had some of the top trainers out there.
Yeah.
It was outside. The weather was great. And it's fun. It's for all levels. So there's no weights involved. So a lot of it's jumping jacks, squats, sit-ups, stuff like that. And at the end of it, we do the Faith Talk Friday. I had some of these these are awesome. I don't know if these are some pre-workout or energy drinks. So I had a bunch of these, and if you're ever feeling tired, you could pop one of these. It gives you energy. We also had the CR7, which is awesome for runners. So
That's this one right here?
Yeah, I just started running, man. I ran 10 miles.
10 miles?
Never done it before, bro.
Dude, I'm still struggling to get to 5.
10 miles, man. 10
Straight?
miles. And just straight.
Oh, dude.
CR7. I'm not saying that was the thing that did it, but it keeps you hydrated. So when I would normally be like dying for water, I don't necessarily need that. And
At that moment,
So I want to run a half, a marathon, and then eventually run a full.
Yeah, that's on my
my
list
goal.
too. But you doing 10 miles, I gotta step my game up.
Hey, you're doing it.
So I mean, you kind of introduced a couple of your products. What other products do we have here?
Yeah, so the other ones, these are what I personally take. So I know you guys probably heard of Herbalife, but my biggest thing is I tell people Tucson training plus Herbalife equals results, right? So if you're having trouble with nutrition, these are awesome supplements. The first one is this right here. This is the meal replacement shake, which tastes phenomenal, right? It's like a full meal. So you get all your nutrition. You're not getting a whole bunch of sugar, and it gives you everything you need for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. So what I have people do is you either replace your breakfast, your lunch, or your dinner with this. Weight falls off. You still get the nutrition you need, right? This one right here, if you're trying to put on muscle, it's called Rebuild.
Okay.
Right? So if you break down your muscle, this is one of my favorite proteins. You're able to rebuild it with this. Awesome flavors here. Now, if you're working on abs, it was almost impossible for me to get abs for a very long time.
Dude, I'm still walking that mountain.
Bro, I finally got a solid 6, almost an 8, right?
8?
Yeah, I'm
Lead,
at
dude.
38 too.
You killing it,
At 30,
man.
I got the pictures to prove it. So these are the top 2 things. I call this abs in the bottle. But this is aloe. This you put in your tea. So I stopped replacing my coffee, right, with tea now. So instead of putting a whole bunch of sugar, a whole bunch of cream every single morning, this is going to give you energy you need, but it also helps with your metabolism. So I put a tablespoon in this every morning with my tea or before I go to sleep. Sometimes I have trouble going to sleep. I'll have a tea to go to sleep also. Now, this last one is called Total Control. So I pop 2 of these. These are help with your metabolism, right? So it really helps with this lower stomach area here. So those are the ones. There's plenty of other stuff. Obviously, we talked about the CR7 for running. We talked. I'm gonna probably take one of these. We talked about this for energy. But if you're trying to cut down, get abs, these 2 are probably the best. And then obviously you got your meal replacement, which is the most important thing. Again, we're gonna go back. 80% is food. So if you're having trouble skipping meals, or if you're just eating the wrong meals, pop a shake. If you're a busy entrepreneur and you're always on the go, we have them little shake packages to go, right? And then right now, if you're a client, I'm giving 25% on all the supplements. And if you're a part of this group also, just let me know, and I don't mind discounting and helping you guys out. But my biggest thing is getting the supplements you need so you see the results, right? You're seeing a lot of people trying to take a fast way to get there. No, you still need to train, right? But now what are we covering? 80% of what else you need. Because the nutrition is hard for a lot of people. So I've been able to give my clients these Herbalife products, and I'm having people lose weight, gain muscle. So even if you're a skinnier guy trying to put on weight, this is still good for you. If you're a heavier person trying to lose weight, this is still good for you. So it kind of works out for everybody.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I mean, a couple questions before we wrap things up here. So you did mention the boot camp. So when is your next boot camp coming up?
So I'm trying to do it once a month. So this is my second one I just did, and it was just amazing. The feedback was good. People were loving it. So I'm only going to do it once a month. I do a run club every Sunday right now, so I'm trying to balance both. But eventually what we're trying to do is we're going to have a huge faith and fitness retreat at the beginning of the year. So I'm going to have these boot camps so you kind of get a feeling on what to expect. But I'm going to have some, again, top speakers, top trainers, and we want to go into next year. Close out this year strong, obviously, but go into next year the right way. Right type of energy, right type of connection with God, right type of education as far as nutrition, so you could be the best that you could be. So if you're taking care of your body, you're the best that you could be, it's going to allow you to do your job, be a better parent. Everything around you is just going to be better, and you're going to feel better. Confidence up, it's a win-win situation. So I tell people all the time that kind of struggle and say, hey man, I don't want to invest in fitness. I'll just work out by myself. And I challenge you, right? You spend money on your car note, but you're not spending money on your body, right? You could go and learn karate. I could go somewhere and learn karate, but if I go to a school and have somebody teach me, I'll get there faster. So I'm just like, if you're going to invest in anything, invest in your fitness. And you could find the money. People spend money at the bar, at the club, like it's nothing. But when it comes to health, they put the you don't want to do that.
Going in that pocket.
You don't want to do that, man. You only get one body, one life. And then you don't want to get to a point where you're at the hospital or doctor and they're telling you have to work out.
You don't want those bills.
You don't want that. You don't want that.
Yeah, agreed. So last couple before we close out, where can people find you if they want to connect with you, if they want to join your family, your fitness family? Where can they find you at?
Simple, right? I'm on Instagram. I'm Coach_Drix, DRIX. Coach_Drix. You can find me there. Also, my website is TucsonTraining.com. And I also have a business website, which is Tucson_Training. So I'm excited to see what's coming. I'm excited to connect with people in the Tampa Bay area, and I definitely appreciate this opportunity.
Yeah, man. Thank you, man. Thank you
for joining the show.
We're going to probably do another interview with you. But as always, we just wanted to take this time from the Knucklehead Podcast and say thank you guys for tuning in. Another phenomenal interview with our guy here, Coach Drix here. So again, if you need to reach out to him, we just gave you all his information. It'll also be down here. You can go ahead and pick the social platform ID down there. And we look forward to the next time. All right, till the next time.
Appreciate you. Man, you guys are good at this.
Yeah.
You do it in your sleep? You ain't.
At this point.
Yeah.